Hey everybody, so this is another um, Diary of an Ugly Girl entry. I have new trays in, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me, or if any of my words kind of slur. I know it's been a while since I posted. It's been pretty crazy here. I don't know about where you guys are, but it's been snowing here in Ohio, right? And they're also talking about opening our state up, even though the numbers are still going up and up and up even before they try to open. And they're talking that the COVID numbers are going to go up more because we open. So since we haven't stopped going up, we're going to make more people get sick and die. It's pretty much the translation I'm getting from the government, but I've never been much of a politician. So today I was going to show you a couple of new things that I've picked up since my last video, and then go through and do a couple of things to get prepped for my next video. I finally got my fang shears in, thank God, because if you look, even without my part, I hate this camera being backwards. I can't do anything. And I washed my hair yesterday, but if you look, like, right around my ears, my hair gets really fat, and that's where all of my weight in my hair goes, is like from the ears down. Even when I straighten it, my hair gets so heavy. It's a nightmare. So I usually have my hair thinned. If you look at my hair, you can see that I have a crap ton of layers in my hair to help negate the thickness and the weight, but I still have to get it thinned even though I get it layered. Here's the problem. I have cut my own hair before. I know how to cut my own hair. I don't know how to thin my own hair. And I have been looking and looking and looking to see how to properly thin your own hair. The only results I've been getting are how to avoid thinning hair, so they're giving me like thickening shampoo results and all this other stuff. And then there's been a couple of videos where the hairstylist will thin the person's hair, but they want to use a razor to do it, or they're just going through and doing it super fast. I need an idiot's guide to the galaxy on this, so if anybody's a hairdresser or knows a hairdresser who would mind doing a tutorial on how somebody could thin their own hair, that would be helpful. I know that I've been seeing a lot of videos during quarantine about people having to cut hair at home, whether it's their own or the boyfriends or their girlfriends or whoever. I've been cutting my children's hair since birth. And I can say successfully that my son is the biggest pain in my ass ever. Because he wants to keep looking at the shaver as I'm doing things. His last bald spot finally just grew out because I was trimming up the back over here, and he moved. So there was a good $50 size part on the back of his head right here that was shorter than the rest of it. My son also has a pale spot here on the side of his head, so having that bald spot brought out the pale spot even more, which you can't really see when his hair is grown out. But he's 2, and I really don't feel like him looking like a hobo at this point. So I can go ahead and cut my kid's hair on camera if you want. I will definitely do mine so you can see what I do to myself. I am not a licensed hair professional. I've just been taking really good notes when I go to the salon, and I've been cutting my friend's hair, and my family's hair for years. you know, when you're not very well endowed financially, you kind of have to do what you can do. There's no, you know, way that you can afford to go to a salon twice a month or once a month. But with the way that my hair grows, I have to constantly get my dead ends taken off and have my hair thinned all the time, especially during the summer. Now, I'm pretty sure that somebody like Brad Mondo would say, okay, well, if it's so heavy, why don't you cut it short? I did cut it short. My hair was shorter than most of the Brad Mondo styles that I've seen on himself for a while, because I committed hair suicide and put 7 boxes of bleach on my hair in the course of 2 days. My hair did not fall out, and it did not break off in the normal sense of you see the girls stretching their hair out and taking like chunks like this falling off their hair. It was, however, burnt to a crispy crunch, and every time I did this or put a brush or a comb through it, these like little bitty millimeter sized whiskers, I guess, would just kind of snow off in droves. So I finally went to a stylist for the first time in my life, and I had her take all the damage off. So it went from about maybe that length, so just below my jawline, to shorter than most men. And I kept it that way, but I've been trying to grow it out. Because before I got my hair cut, the reason I was damaging my hair so much is because it wouldn't grow anyway. So I was like, well, if it's not going to grow, then I might as well have fun with it. Finally, my hair's growing. I would consider it healthy, mostly. And up until a couple of months ago, I was fire engine red. I actually only went to my natural, you know, ash brown color because I was trying to keep my roots out every 2 weeks or so with the red, and like the second I could see root, I would have a fit because my OCD just doesn't allow for that black line with the red. So it took, I want to say, 2 weeks to get not only all of the red out, but also to try to find the right match, because the first match that I did, I had only just used the little box comparison and kind of held it up to my roots like this, and the color that I ended up with was way too light. But I did let it grow out just to see how much darker I needed to go. And then we ended up finding a better color for me that, I think I put this in, I don't know, February? I was red in December. Red, yeah, probably February, I'd say, and it is now almost mid-May. But yeah, my hair was, that color for about a week and a half after I finished doing everything that I did to it, because once I pulled the red out and did a bleaching kit and some serious toner, that was as light as I could get my hair to lift. But at least it wasn't orange anymore, because I started out with like a pumpkin-y, holy freaking crap, I'm gonna cry orange. Let me see. Ah, there. Super, super bright orange. So yeah, it was a nightmare. Super bright orange, was not happy, wanted to bawl my eyes out. But I also needed to give my scalp a rest. So I'm trying to find a picture of what my hair color was before. There's my hair color before. So slightly brighter than the sweater I'm wearing now. So I finally went back to my regular color because it was getting so expensive to keep up the red, is the bottom line. So on top of my thinning shears, which I've taken notes from the salon, and I've seen the different ways that girls will thin my hair, and there's one way that I've seen that I think I can do myself without completely botching my hair. I don't have any sort of social media like Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff. I'm just not that public. I don't mind other people seeing my channel and talking to me. You know, I don't post every single minute of everything about my life on social media. I choose not to do this as a protection for my children. I have cute babies, and they would sell for quite a bit on the black market, and I, quite frankly, don't want to have to pay ransom for them. And people are like, oh, that's so far-fetched. Well, a girlfriend I went to high school with had to prove to the police that her daughter was her daughter because somebody stole her daughter's picture off of her Facebook and then called the police saying that she had kidnapped her child, trying to get the police to kidnap little Ari for her, trying to state that that was her daughter. She had to actually prove that that was her child. So, yeah. And I've seen people actually work that scam before, where they've gone and, you know, stolen pictures from a Facebook, put them all over their Facebook, actually kidnapped the child in the pictures, and then tried to use the Facebook to prove that, oh, that was their baby. Like, Photoshop themselves into it and stuff. Call me paranoid, call me whatever you want, but I love my kids, and I'm not going to take that risk. So, fun new gadget number 1. Thinning shears. That'll be the next video. In between, either pray that Brad Mondo or someone similar puts up a how to thin your own hair for girls who've got fat, curly, wavy hair, because all they ever do shit for is girls with straight hair. I don't have straight hair. I have fat hair, okay? I have fat hair problems. How to cut your own hair. Okay, well, even in his videos, he says, you know, don't do this if you have curly hair. This video's not for you. You know, and he's trying to do the simple things, but, okay, I have naturally wavy hair. The only reason it's even this straight is because I blow dry it. So, I took a shower last night. So, you know, while I appreciate putting the videos on for the simpletons with straight hair who are super addicted to their flat iron, for those of us who at most blow dry their hair and at least go to bed with wet hair, wake up with curly hair, a little help for the ugly ducklings in the room, please. Anyway, coming back down off my soapbox, my new favorite, and I highly recommend this. Oh, let me show you the cover so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Is a face shield gun. Okay. Normally, I have a monthly appointment with my chiropractor, but during quarantine, I don't know the kind of people he sees, and I don't know their cleaning protocols, so I'm not going to take the chance of going there and bringing whatever that crap is home. So, in the meantime, this is my best friend. I got it off Wish. You could probably get them somewhere else if you're not a big Wish fan. That's cool. I'm not judging. But it comes with the gun. And then there's this black one here is for your joints so you don't like stab yourself. The ball here is for large muscle groups. This tuning fork looking one is for your vertebrae. And then this one is for other parts of the body, smaller muscle groups and tendons, things like that. It has like 6 different speeds, so from yes please to oh holy crap. I love this thing. It is my new best friend. I was first introduced to this by my sister in Hawaii. She uses it after her gym workouts and stuff. For me, I have a lot of problems with not only carpal tunnel, but I have poor circulation in my extremities. So using it on, excuse me, the muscle and tendon grouping here, as well as on my actual shoulder muscles, increases my circulation and it keeps my arms from going numb, which is never fun when you're holding a 20-pound baby. My daughter is chastising her brother and sister in the front room, so please excuse. So I went from having my makeup in this little bag here to having it in this bag here. Again, my camera's backwards, so please forgive. Which is very helpful because I hated having to dig to the bottom of that little bag just to find anything. As you can tell, my children have a great time. Okay, so since I've done the hair talk, I'm going to put this monster back up because it's just in my way at the moment. So, for those of you who did not know me when I was a kid, I actually used to have probably waist to bum length hair. And while I'm not trying to get it that long again, I would like mid-back, if possible, just because there's so much stuff that I can do with it. And I know a lot of hairdressers are like, well, it's so boring, you can't do anything with it. Yes, you can, actually. It just doesn't have anything to do with scissors. You can do tons of things with it. I'm going to bring you guys down so you can see this, because if I tip this over, it's totally going to do it. So this is what my makeup is now. I just picked this up, which, as you can see, is it's an SPF, but it's also a primer, and I've never used a primer before, so I'm very excited to try it. Sorry if anybody gets seasick easy. Butter. I really hope you guys don't fall off my monitor, because that would suck. Okay. So, I will do the sunscreen primer. Let's see. So, I told you guys about the Il Makiage foundation that I got. This one, the 60, was actually the first one they sent me. Not only did they replace it with the 55, which is my better number, they let me keep this one. Now, obviously, it's too light for me to use as a foundation, but it's almost perfect for a concealer. Is the thought that I just had like 2 days ago. So, let's see. That was my mom. Let me just find out, make sure nothing's on fire. Oh, I restarted my phone, so it's being stupid. Okay, so I figured I'd try the 60 as a concealer and see how that goes. And then I've seen a bunch of videos where I could probably use my shimmer highlighting powder by e.l.f. as either a gentle highlighter over my concealer, or like I'm very unfamiliar with the term baking, but I get the idea, sort of. So I have my Mary Kay Beige 1.5 loose powder, and I try really hard not to tip this thing over because then it gets all over the place on the top and just makes a huge freaking mess. I think that for my skin tone, that might work as a contour powder or a bronzer maybe. And I know I have, from my first video, I still have my bronzer blush palette, but I mean, look at my face. I don't need the blush. It is not just a sweater reflecting here. And then also in my next video, I'm going to be fixing these. You guys should see these up close. I know my camera's not great, but you should, yeah, I mean, Bert from Sesame Street going on. It's crazy. Let's see. I think I will do the Victoria's Secret Pinky Gloss and just kind of see where we go. Now, something else that I got was new brushes. I thought it'd be fun to actually try to do this with the stuff that you're supposed to do it with. Silly me. Let's see. So that is for the foundation. I guess I'm supposed to use a brush for the primer, I think. If I do this wrong, at least it's entertainment value for somebody. So, any of you who know me personally know that I'm super goth when I have the ability to be. I live in the middle of bumfuck Egypt right now, and so I try to keep my goth to a bare minimum because I really hate answering the stupid questions that the rednecks come up with. But I found these. They're like these purple, black crystal brushes. The whole set looks like this. It's wonderful. Lets me express a little bit of my inner me, and they're super soft. Super soft. Okay. As you can tell, or maybe you can't, I'm having some serious acne issues right now. Lots of imperfections. No bueno. Okay, so let's see what the instructions are on here, and we will get started. Mother Fletcher, come on. Stupid peel here for instructions. Well, some of us can't really peel. Apply liberally 15 minutes before sun exposure. Reapply at least every 2 hours. Use water-resistant sunscreen if swimming. Translation, we don't give a shit how you wear this, just do it. Super. Okay, well, that's okie dokie. Let's see what kind of applicator this thing has. Oh, it's a little eyedropper situation. Okay, so we'll just, for safety's sake. And I do have a mirror down below, so if it looks like I'm staring off into space, I swear I'm not. Okay, let's see how this works here. If you hear any blood-curdling screams from the other room, please don't panic. My children threaten each other's lives on a daily basis. They are simply trying to figure out who runs the show when mommy's not home. My 8-year-old, for anyone who doesn't know me, is autistic. And one of the benefits of her autism is that she's extremely, extremely intelligent and surprisingly responsible for a child of her age. I actually have to constantly be reminded that she's 8 because I try to let her have more responsibility and more adult things than is necessarily good for an 8-year-old. So I have to frequently be reminded that, hey, she's 8, she's still a kid. Because it's been the her and mom show her whole life. Her donor was never around, and the one man that she had chosen to be her dad abandoned us for his other family that he decided to start 2 months after he started one with us. Pretty fun times. So, you know, she hasn't really had it good as far as the men in her life. Unfortunately, it seems to be a family trait. So, you know, it just kind of becomes what I try to do for her. Okay, finally worked. Can't go to Marion. What? I don't have Facebook. Why are you sending me a Facebook thing when I don't have Facebook? Steve's Dakota Grill. It's not in Marion, it's in Ontario. Hey Mom, that's actually in Mansfield, it's not in Marion. Sorry about that. Something about steaks or something at Steve's Dakota Grill. And I try really, really hard not to type, if at all possible, on my phone, because for some reason my autocorrect hates my typing more than it hates my voice to text. So I just try to use the voice to text as much as possible. So, as you can see, even just the forehead, I'm so much less red right now. And part of my setup is that I'm going to try to put lights around my monitor to be able to get a little bit better lighting in here. So that way it's more consistent when I do my videos and my makeup. So that way you guys have a better idea of the difference from start to finish. Now, I know that you're supposed to, do your neck and stuff. I really just don't care because we're in quarantine. Where am I going? So I'm not really worried about that line that you get. Besides, if there was actually sun in Ohio, there wouldn't be a line because my neck would be the same color as my makeup. Because I got this when it was warmer, or at least when my face was warmer, let's be fair. I had a tan when I got this. But then, there's 6 years of snow, rain, and clouds in Ohio, and you end up becoming more and more ill looking with every passing minute. So, there's the foundation. It does great things for covering up, like right here, I actually have a mole, so it looks like a pimple all the time. And then here, I've got acne, so you can see the bumps and stuff, but it takes care of the coloration at least. Okay, so that was the 55 that I used on my whole face. Just to show you guys the difference, putting the 60 on here. And it's going to be like a barely there difference, but we'll put it under my eyes. And then I guess you're supposed to go down your nose. See? Barely there difference, but just enough light that it can work as a concealer. How crazy is that? So, I mean, like I said in my first video, super pricey, but a little goes a long way, and if it works, it's worth it. Instead of having to spend 17, 18 different products worth of money on stuff that only kind of works, so you have to pair it up with 7 or 8 different products just to get the effect you want. That makes sense. Okay, so we're going to try this powder stuff that I told you about. And see, that's what I was afraid of, because, the only real way to get it back in there is to vigorously shake it in a horizontal method, and that's probably not going to go well. Okay, so I put a little bit on my poof, and I will try to knock the excess off because I'm not trying to look like a clown. A little bit there. A little bit there. And then I guess you're supposed to do around here. Now, all of these little techniques that I'm using are ones that I've seen on videos. So I'm just copying what I've seen and seeing if I can execute them. Hope is not high. And of course, all the videos say, hey, you don't want a white line between your hairline and your makeup. But hey, stupid, don't get your makeup in your hair. Well, there's no line between your hair and your makeup. Hi. Yes. Hmm? Hmm? And then, of course, you're supposed to now, when you have 3 chins like me, it doesn't matter how much powder you put, you're still going to have the 3 chins. Okay. So, that's that. I don't personally see a difference. I look multicolored in the mirror, but then again, that could be the lighting in here. I'm going to grab the fluffiest brush I have. Oh. And just kind of blend that in a little bit more. You know, it's called a beauty blender, the thing I was using, but I lack proficiency in it. So, if nothing else, I at least got the excess off of my face. Okay, so I will handy dandy eye pencil. And again, I'm sorry, public service announcement, if you get queasy with somebody sticking crap in their eyes, don't look at this next part. I do put my eyeliner on my waterline, so you're going to probably cringe when I do this, so just don't look. And I'm not judging if you can't watch me do this, by the way, because there's a ton of crap that people think is completely normal that I think is really gross. So, you will not see me throwing stones at your glass house. And like I said in my second video, depending on what I'm doing and the level of professionalism that I'm going for is how much I will line my eyes. If I'm going for a more professional look, then it's probably just going to be my top lash line. If I'm going super professional, I won't even be using black. It'll be brown. Because obviously most offices or professionals are going to want you to look as indiscriminate as possible. In an office setting, especially in a meeting, if you're not the grand finale of that meeting, you don't need to stand out. They don't want you to be remembered for your makeup. And it's just a matter of the occasion. So for this particular one, I will just line all the way. And I'm actually going to use the 4D. mascara. For some reason I cannot remember that name. That I got from Ariel for the Unique line. I really, really like it. This is just that eyebrow brush that I used in the second episode. Just taming my eyebrows. There's not a lot I can do right now because they're a hot mess anyway. But now a lot of people are like, well, why don't you put eyeliner on your eyelid? I do, again, depending on what I'm doing. And if I could figure out the liquid liner that I have, I would probably do it more. But my problem is that my hand's not that steady. So, I mean, I have it, and I'd like to, but if anybody's got any tips or tricks or anything that I could use, because the funny thing is a lot of people have trouble with the wingtip. I've actually got that part down. The problem that I run into is if you look right where my pupils would be, my eyelids come down strikingly and then back up. So I kind of have a lump there. And that lump is what throws my line off and it makes it look horrible every time. Every time. So I just generally don't. But as I go through and as I evolve this channel, I will see about trying new looks and new techniques. I'd love to learn anything anybody's willing to teach me. And see if I can't go from a butt ugly duckling to something resembling a goose or a swan. So, the 4D mascara from Unique. I really, really like this. I didn't think I was going to because of the way the brush is, but if you do it right, and my mom actually figured out why it didn't work for me the first time. With fiber lashes, apparently, or fiber mascara, you're supposed to do one coat, let it dry, then do the next coat. I didn't know that. But just so you guys can see just the difference after one coat, I mean, it's pretty astounding. And again, a little goes a long way. Assuming you don't blink your wand into your cheekbone because you're an idiot. Like me. And this start at the bottom and swizzle your way up the lash. I learned from Lauren Luke. She is a UK YouTubing queen. Had her own makeup line till they shafted her. Because, of course, any professional industry, their primary goal is money. And most generally do not give 2 pence about anybody except their own pocketbooks. Hooray for humanity. So that's just after one application. We'll let that dry. We'll go ahead and do my lip. I think I'm going to do an ombre, or ombre, I think is how the cool kids say it. It's always been an ombre to me. That's always how that's how that word was originally pronounced before, you know, the cool kids came through and decided to change it. Kind of like how the pound sign is now a hashtag. No, it's a pound sign because that's what it's been since the invention of the telephone. So you guys are really just going to have to deal with it. But I do want to take a little bit of this shimmer powder and just kind of go here. And a little bit here. And a little bit here. There. Just a little bit of shimmer. Just to kind of pull the light up a little. And again, the lighting in here is really crappy, and I'm sorry about that. Okay. So for my ombre lip, I'm going to do a little bit of liner with my CoverGirl 24 Hour Matte. And this is in The Real Thing, number 680. And I'm just going to very gently, you guys can't see this, can you? Very gently. I'm not lining in the traditional sense. I am starting at the top and slowly kind of pulling a stroke down. I will tell you that this is not a technique I found on a video. It's one I'm making up right now. Just to see if it works. Like I said, I don't have a steady hand. That would be my daughter. She squeaks like that all the time. Please don't be concerned. She does that all the time. Okay, and then I'm not this with my lips. I'm just to kind of blend that in a little bit. Obviously the line is horrible because I don't have a steady hand. But, so see? Like that. Okay. And then take the Victoria's Secret Get Glossed Pinky. There's no number, or I give it to you. But it looks like this. A little applicator. And just right over top. I actually used to do this. Sorry, backwards camera. There it goes. I actually used to do this when I would go to goth club, except that I would just line my lips with my eyeliner, and it would be red in the middle instead of the black. I know it sounds horrible, but I did mention goth club, right? Try not to judge too hard. It was the one place that I could go that I was allowed to be me. And if I wanted to be invisible, I could be. And if I wanted to be seen, I could be. And as an antisocial person in general, it was nice to be able to have that control of what, if I wanted to be seen, then I could make myself seen. If I just wanted to be there by myself, then I could just be there by myself. So I don't have that ability anymore. It's usually quite the opposite, where when I want to be seen, I'm not. And when I wish I was invisible, it's like every single eye is on me. So it's another reason for this channel, is to just kind of bring myself out of the shadows, bring myself out of my element, and do something that is completely out of my character. You know, I'm an overtly honest person, to the point where I'm almost like Data from Star Trek. Like, I'm just forward and I speak what I speak, you know. And it's been really hard because a lot of people find that a difficult thing to customize themselves to, because a lot of people just find it rude, because they're not used to someone just being forward and honest and just completely, you know, unmasked. Fortunately, I have been able to find someone who loves me for me, size, shape, attitude, and everything, and it's made me find myself in a new way and become more comfortable with me, how I am. You know, he's amazing to be who he is, and we've been separated through this entire quarantine because we don't live together, and I have high-risk people that I see every day that I can't risk getting infected, and he's an essential worker, so he is at work and exposed to people every day. So I haven't been able to see him. I think the last day I saw him was February 19th. But he makes me not want to hide who I am anymore. He makes me feel like it's okay to be who I am, and that I don't need everyone else's permission, and that if I come out as me and I just be myself, then regardless of what everybody else thinks, he's still going to be there. It's very refreshing and such a relief. But anyway, I'm going to come back to earth now and put the second round of my mascara on and stop. Yeah, anyhow. So, second layer of the fiber mascara. I feel like the second layer, you don't have to really dig in and go up. You just kind of want to fan it, I guess, you know, right at the tips, and just kind of give them their extensions that they're asking for. But I really wanted to try something just out of my element. I used to have Facebook, and I just got tired of the drama and everything being in my face, and everyone being in my face. You know, and it was just, it wasn't a good time. I just found out that my almost husband was cheating on me and had gotten another girl pregnant when I was already 2 months pregnant, and we were 6 weeks away from our wedding. So I was in a bad place. Really, really bad place. And I just kind of let it rule me. And it was not the best thing I could have ever done. But at the same time, getting off of Facebook was the best thing I've ever done. Just because, you know, it's a breeding ground for bad things, as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, I'm back, and sorry about the rambling and the ongoing, but this is also kind of therapeutic. So, this, let me see if I can close the window. Hold on. I'm working on the lighting here. Hold on. This is why I need my Jesse, because my Jesse is my tech god, and he is my soundboard for all things videography. So that would also include lighting, which my current lighting is shit. Okay, so just to get a little bit of a frontal, you know, lighting view here, my flashlight right there. So this would be just my everyday, I'm up, I'm about, this is what I'm doing. Look, just regular eyebrows, nothing fancy, a lip to complement whatever clothes I'm wearing. So obviously if it's like a blue or a purple, I'll probably wear like a flesh tone. If I'm wearing a red, I'll wear a red. But thank you for watching, and I appreciate the dedication. I really do. I did notice that I went from 1 subscriber to 3, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Please share with friends, family, colleagues, and I'm aiming for 100 subscribers so that way I can continue this. I will take requests on what you guys want to see. Hit me up if you want me to do my kids' hair on camera. It'll probably be within a week or so, so if you do want me to do it on camera, somebody's going to have to tell me. But I appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for watching. Toodles.